Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another live stream watch along on the Dibbly-Dobbly podcast. It is the T20 World Cup. It's Australia versus Namibia, match number 24. And Namibia in a bit of trouble at 8 down for 63. And Australia looking to qualify to the Super 8s today with this win against Namibia. They've won 2 from 2. They're looking to win 3 from 3. And you would think that they will be certain to do that. Thanks everyone for joining us. And I'm joined by Joey from New World Cricket, who's tagged along today. Joey, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me here. It's good to be here.
It's great to have you here. Thanks for coming along to talk about T20 World Cup, talk about cricket in America.
Oh, yeah.
But also this match between Australia and Namibia, as Cummins is in, and this one's short and pulled by Erasmus over deep square leg for a big 6.
Nice.
Just what Namibia needed. He moves on to 35 of 40, 8 for 69 Namibia. Joey, how do you see this match panning out?
Well, it looks pretty clearly in Australia's hands for sure. And that's what we all expected. But they got, that's the 6 you're talking about right there. Oh, he hit that really hard. So it's good to see Namibia starting to pick up their bat a little bit more right now. But Australia immediately clamped down on this game right at the start with a couple of wickets that they got, and they really haven't given many opportunities to Namibia at all. So that's the power of their bowling lineup.
Yes, and Cummins bowls another short delivery. This one worked around the corner down to a deep backward square leg by Erasmus. He picks up a single. It's 8 for 70. Erasmus on 36 of 41. Hello, howdy, Cowboys. Sudeep says 2 Australian fans. Well, I'm not sure if Joey is an Australian fan. Alu says India versus USA today. Yes, that should be an interesting match.
Yes.
USA, you never know. They had that brilliant win over Pakistan.
I mean, that was insane. Yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to hear what your opinion was, if you can. Just like what you thought, like how historic of a win is that, like.
Well, that was India over, and that one left alone. Dot ball to finish, and Namibia still crawling along at the moment to a total maybe just over 100 if they can. If they get there from here, that would be pretty good. Sudeep says Joey loves Australia. Howdy says USA about to give the biggest upset ever. Well, it was definitely a very good win for the US. It definitely will open a lot of doors for them and opportunities. That's for sure. 8 for 70 Australia. Hello, John. Hope you're well. My guest, John, is Joey. We've had him on the podcast before. He's an American. And I had him on the podcast a few months ago for that interview that we did with him on US Cricket and his channel. And we'll put a link in the chat from that interview if you haven't seen that episode yet. But I hope you're well, John. I know you've been in the hospital. Hope you're well. And good to see you up and about. Fazar says Nepal all out for 66 and 15 others.
Yeah, okay. That game got rained out, so they were pretty upset.
Yes, it did. The weather there in Florida is not too flashy.
I'm surprised they don't do a makeup day.
No. John says good day to you, Joey.
Yeah. Good evening.
Storm us in. This one a swing and a miss by Erasmus. Through to the keeper, no run. And he's been the main pillar in this batting lineup for Namibia in this tournament thus far, the captain, Erasmus.
That's for
holding
sure.
the innings together. Just having a look at his highlights throughout this tournament. Last game against Scotland, he got a half century, 52.
Yeah, he's been really essential for the batting lineup of Namibia. Yeah, he's great.
So Marcus Stoinis is in, and this one short and wide outside off stumps. Another play and a miss by Erasmus through to the keeper, but it's going to be called wide by umpire Menon. And 8 for 71 Namibia, so extra run onto the total as we have a look at the fall of the wickets 14, 15, 15, 18, 21, 31, 43, and 43. Just tells you the story of how Namibia have battered today, and Australia have bowled really well, as you would expect. Australia definitely a class above. Stornis is in. This one full and wide outside off stump. Again, doesn't connect Erasmus, but again, it's going to be called wide. So Marcus Stornis not quite getting the last two deliveries on the money. Sudeep says, what's your predictions for the Super 8s? Well, I did say India. Probably now the US. I did say Pakistan, but now US, you would think.
That's
Australia. Yeah, well, Stornis is in, and this one on the pads and swung high into the air on the leg side. Is it going to be caught? It is. Fantastic catch by no other than Glenn Maxwell, I think it was. Yes, it was. No surprise. And Marcus Stornis finally gets the wicket of the Namibian captain Erasmus. And so we have a look on the replay again. This one into the pads and try to get that over the rope, Erasmus, but he didn't quite time it. Straight up in the air was bottom part of the bat near the toe, but an excellent outfield catch from Glenn Maxwell, who takes a really good catch. And unfortunately, Erasmus has got to go for 36. It's 9 for 72, and the end is 9 for Namibia, you would say, Joey?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's delaying the inevitable here, but I think this last wicket will come really soon. Yeah. And I was just saying, it's crazy how we, if you said USA would make the Super 8s, you'd be like crazy, but now you really have to make that prediction.
Well, they can now. If they win against either India or Ireland, they're through. Canada lost to Pakistan yesterday, and Pakistan got their first win of the tournament. Wow. And Mark Stornis is going to be bowling to Shikongo, who's the new batter on strike. Number 11, I know how he feels, Shikongo. That's where I bat. It's not a good place to be at number 11. Stornis is in. This one full on the pads. And Shikongo works it out to mid-on for no run. So I think him and Brassel, who are the two batters in at the crease, will be hoping to just bat out the last 3 and a bit overs. Try and get Namibia up to some sort of respectable target, maybe 100, maybe just something to bowl at. We'll know how hard Australia will go with Warner and Head at the top of the order, and they will hold no prisoners. Stornis is in. This one full and defended by Shikongo to a point, and there's no run. Howdy says, what's your cricket Mount Rushmore? And Joey too. It's a popular landmark over there in the States.
Mount Rushmore. Yeah, right.
With all the former US presidents.
Yeah.
Just remind me, Joe, which state is that in? My geography on the US.
That's in Wyoming, I want to say. Mount Rushmore, Montana, Wyoming. Oh,
and this one a short ball and ducked underneath by Shikongo. Rid of the keeper, no run.
Oh, I'm wrong. South Dakota.
Yes, I thought it was in either South Dakota or North.
Yeah.
The US presidents there. Can you name them, Joey? Can you name the presidents on Mount Rushmore? I think.
Yeah. Washington, Lincoln, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, John Adams, and I don't know the last one.
Stornis was in, and this one a leading edge by Shikongo, and taken by Tim David at mid-on. And that is the end of the innings. Shikongo gone for a duck, and Namibia all out for 72 with 3 overs to spare. Australia will just need the measly 73 runs to win.
Wow.
So Namibia will be very disappointed with that. And A lot of work to do for them in the run chase and defending the score.
How do you? How many overs will this take Australia to catch up to?
Well, probably won't be a lot. Maybe just 6 overs, power play. Probably that's it. You would think. They only need 73, so that's Namibia's lowest score of this tournament. And Australia would need 73 runs at a run rate of 3.65. So that's not much.
If you were coaching the team, though, would you be like, go all out and make this really quick, or like, what were you?
You got to be upbeat. You got to be upbeat and positive, and still believe that you can win.
Right.
Despite how the odds are stacked against you. Howdy, referring to that comment there. No, I meant your top 5 cricketers of all time. That's an interesting question. We'll get back to you on that, Howdy.
A tough one, eh?
Got to think a bit. There's a lot of great cricketers over the years I've seen. Alu says it's Pakistan's habit to lose against smaller ranked teams. Zimbabwe, Ireland, now USA. Sudeep says Pakistan did a better job in the ICC. Fazaz says I'm just 3K subs away to catch up with Joey, of course, New World Cricket. Well, we're getting there. We're ticking off the runs one by one. If I could use
regardless.
Cricket analogy there. Sudeep says we're all cricket fans, should be proud of Pakistan because of the Americans are finally knowing about cricket.
Yeah.
Alu says, I think Pakistan is out of this World Cup and USA qualified for Super 8s. USA need to win one match, or if they lose, they must lose by a smaller margin. USA will qualify by net run rate. Yep, that's pretty straightforward there. And
if there's any rained out game too, it's like automatic Super 8. So everything looks in the United States' favor to qualify.
Yes, pretty much.
I can't believe that.
Yes,
I can't believe that.
Well, it was a pretty good win, that's for sure.
Yeah, and even the Canadian win, that was a game. The North American team I saw in person, Canada versus Ireland, and I mean, just they look really good against Ireland. Never gave up, and so it's like I don't know what is up with Canada and USA, beating test nations, but it's been pretty good to watch.
Yes, definitely. I think all the associates have done well in this tournament.
It's awesome.
And they've performed pretty well. Sudeep says I've been pronouncing his name wrong. It's Sudeep, according to you, Joey. So,
yeah.
I'll remember that. Howdy says mine is Sachin, Shane Warne, MSD, Shane Watson, and David Miller. Well, so I actually did meet Shane Warne, actually. I had the pleasure of meeting him.
He seems really nice. Like, I've seen him.
He was.
Yeah.
He was. And, yes, I had a photo with him and signed his book for me at the time because he released his book a few years back. So it was good to meet the king himself.
Yeah, dude. Oh, man. What an honor.
Now, we have the innings break, so it won't be long until Australia commence the run chase. But what we're going to do is that I'm going to leave a link to the chat that I had with Joey in February. How time flies. It's now June.
Yeah, wow, February.
Yes, and we had a great chat at the time, and make sure you check it out if you haven't done so yet. We chatted about Joey's journey in cricket, his channel, and I'll leave that in the chat for everyone to check out if you haven't watched that yet. And also check out all of our other American interviews we've done. We've had some chats with Cricket for Americans, a well-known YouTube channel. I've been on their channel many times before. Nate Hayes from Emerging Cricket, we've had him on. Peter Della Penna, of course, when we chatted to him about US cricket for our Associate Cricket series. So all you need to do is just go to the channel page and check out those in the playlist. They're pretty easy to find. And you can catch up on all of our American cricket content.
Awesome. And you got tons of stuff. Like, I mean, your podcasts are like, I feel like they should be saved, because talking about associate nation cricket with all of these countries that like it's hard to find information on, like Estonia, just far off countries. And so,
yes, well, we've interviewed quite a few actually.
Yeah, I don't know of any other channel that has those type of that type of content. So like, yeah, absolutely need to watch that.
Yes, no, we've covered it all, that's for sure.
Yeah,
lost track really. Fazad says associate cricket cover-ups are great. Alu says Sir Viv Richards, Sachin Tendulkar, Shane Warne, Courtney Walsh, and Ricky Ponting. That's not a bad top 5 there.
I like.
We're all good cricketers in their own right. Howdy says you're listening to always cracks me up.
My daughter used to do that. She was you're listening to the because I played the podcast so much in the car, and she would always do that.
Yes, no, we've had that intro for I don't know,
it's great.
3 years, I think now.
That's perfect.
But yes, well, thank you for that. Well, it's good to know that, Howdy, that I'm putting a smile on your face, making you laugh, which is the main thing. It's always good to be happy. So, Joey, your thoughts on this T20 World Cup thus far in the States? How would you assess it as we enter the back half of the
fun. I needed this. It's been fun. Like, that's what World Cup should be. Just like kind of crazy fun scenarios that you don't normally see. That's a World Cup. You're bringing in countries that don't normally play each other, and you get an opportunity to see that, so it's just fun. There's been controversy with the New York Stadium, and I don't know like if that was a good idea to rush that stadium out. Like Rohit Sharma got injured on a ball that probably shouldn't have done that in any other stadium. So like that's a one concerning thing. But when I went, everything seemed pretty smooth. It was a low scoring game, but I love good bowling. So for me, that was like perfect. And just with the upsets and just with the different opportunities, I don't care if it's like upset so much, but just different teams like winning, different scenarios. It's been like really, really, really good. Like almost perfect. Like, I don't know. This is went as good as I thought it could go. So.
Yeah, definitely. Fazad says, I started watching associate cricket back in 2021 because of the T20 World Cup in 2021. Yes, a lot of people do watch associate cricket and mainstream cricket. Sudeep says, in this World Cup final, Jack, Joey, Yusuf, and Nishman should do a live stream together. Well, let's hope we.
That's the Mount Rushmore of YouTubers right there.
Yes. Howdy says bowlers got their revenge after the IPL 2024.
Yeah.
I suppose it's not a bad thing with that pitch in New York. It was a good contest between bat and ball. Something for the bowlers, at least.
Yeah, right?
Flat surfaces that we've seen in the IPL.
Can I ask you what you thought about the IPL and the really high scores? Or what was your opinion?
Yeah, it's sort of, sometimes it can bring excitement. And you saw teams chase down 260 odd and that's great. But when it happens on a regular basis, then it kind of gets a bit plain. So you want to see a bit of contest between bat and ball.
Right.
That's what everyone wants to see in the game of cricket. So
boom, boom, 6-6. Yeah, it just gets tiring.
Fazad says the Nasu Stadium controversy related to the pitch could be fixed if the work started a year ago. Yes, well, they did have time before this tournament started to prepare that stadium. But as you expect from a makeshift stadium, of course, these are going to happen. It's drop-in wickets and they take time to settle down a bit. So Robart says, I didn't even know Dibbly-Dobbly was a cricket term. Nice name. Yes, it is. Dibbly-Dobbly, Wibbly-Wobbly is the full name. But only kept it. Yes, it is. It's to describe a medium pacer, really. A New Zealand commentator came up with that term. And someone from New Zealand, Chris Harris. He was that sort of bowler that bowled medium pace. And it was very hard to get away as a batter. So that's where the term originates from. He just said he's a dibbly-dobbly, wibbly-wobbly sort of bowler, and it's sort of stuck. So it's hard. It's a nice name. It will be a cool name for the podcast. When I was thinking of names at the time. But yes, Robot, you've learned something new there. Yes, it is a cricket term. Describe those medium paces that are dibbly-dobbly sort of bowlers.
You said it was hard to get away for the batters?
Yes, because they're very hard to score runs off.
They're hard to get away, like to score runs off of.
Because they just bowl a nagging line and length and bowl slow. And you can't really time it.
You can't time it out. Yeah. Can you switch up your bowling pace like during game? Like, can you bowl like a change up and then like a fastball?
Yeah,
you can. Really dumb question. Okay.
Different variations, sort of like in baseball, where you bowl a.
You don't have to let the umpire know.
Yeah. So you can change it up every delivery. Depends on, what the batter's doing. If you're going to bowl a slower ball or a bouncer or, bowl to your field as well. But, bowl your stock delivery for 6 balls of the over, which is your normal delivery that you bowl. So just, seam up delivery or whatever that you bowl. And then you bring in the variations subtly. You don't just do variations for the sake of it. There's got to be some sort of planning behind it. So when you see bowlers like Cummins and Stark and Hazelwood, they bowl their stock deliveries and then they bowl their variation. Just to change it up whenever they need to. Having a look at the table, Group B, Scotland on top with 5 points. You would think they're good favourites to go through, but they do play Australia next in the last game of the group of Group B. And Australia, if they win today, they're pretty much through with 1 game remaining, which is against Scotland. Tomorrow, USA and India. That's the big game. Renell says, good night. Hope everything is well. Yes, it is, Renell, and I hope you're doing great. Always great to see you, Renell. Supporter of the podcast for a while. Sadeep says, we've got Robot commenting in live streams before GTA 6.
Is that like a meme before GTA 6 or something?
Well, I don't know.
I think I've heard of that before. But
all righty then. So we're about to begin the run chase, and Namibia having their team huddle. I think the captain will be saying, let's get out there and, try and defend this if we can. It's not a big score. It's only 72. They scored 73 for Australia to win. So it's all about just taking some wickets. You never know. Funny things have happened in this game. We've seen that over the years. And we saw that with Pakistan and India. Pakistan looked on track to win that game, and then all of a sudden they sort of capitulated.
No.
And both teams making their way out to the middle. Warner and Head, the opening partnership, very destructive for Australia. Howdy says, Joey did the American moment there. Really asked if they can bowl slower or not. He has a cricket channel.
Yeah, I know.
Well, he's still learning the game.
I got to get the dumb questions out there. I know it was, and I'm doing my homework every day, so I don't think
Yes, it's...
I know it's a bad question, but you got to get it out.
Travis Head, David Warner. Batted well in the last game against England. They got Australia off to a good start. 70-odd in the power play in that game there. It's going to be David Warner to face up. He's a veteran of many years. Been around in this Australian team for a long time. This is his last T20 World Cup. I think he played in his first T20 World Cup back in 2009. So it's been a very long time. Travis Head, first T20 World Cup for him this year. He hasn't been a part of the previous World Cups in the last couple of years. He'll be at the non-strikers end, and it's going to be Ruben Trumpelman. That's a fascinating name there. Trumpelman. He's going to be bowling the first over to David Warner to get this run chase underway. He's a big, strong lad.
Oh, yeah.
And here we go. First ball of this run chase. So it's Trumpelman into Warner. Over the wicket, left arm over the wicket. Warner drops and runs. Quick single on the offside. And they scamper through for a single. Nearly a run-out opportunity for Namibia. Good piece of fielding from Dalvin. But he made it home easily, Travis Head. That was the danger end. Let's have a look at the replay. Got to it nicely. Oh, he would have been out by Miles Head if that hit, but no damage done. Australia off the mark. And David Warner off the mark as well. So only 72 more runs to go. Let's tick them off one by one. Trumpelman in again. This one full on the pads, and Head gets bat on it, works it out to deep backward square. He'll pick up a single. He's off the mark. Australia none for 2. Joey, your predictions? When's this going to finish? What over?
Yeah, I would say maybe 7 or 8 overs. But I'm really excited to see how Trumpelman bowls here because he had a great match against Oman. Picked up 4 wickets. And so it's the first time I've seen him bowl, really. So I was impressed. Yep. So let's see.
Let us know in the chat, everyone, your predictions for the over that Australia will chase down these runs in. Trumpelman in this one. Short wide outside off stump and slapped away by Warner through the covers for 4.
Oh, man.
First boundary of the innings, and not a great delivery from Trumpelman. And Fazid says 8 overs. Jihan, great to see you, Jihan. Jihan says, I just landed in Trinidad, going to the West Indies New Zealand game tomorrow. Yes, that's going to be an important game, Jihan. And good to hear that you're over there enjoying the World Cup in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Trumpelman is in. This one's short. And swing and a miss by Warner. Through the keeper, no run. Try to dispatch that down the ground, Warner, but didn't connect. Beaten on the inside edge. Yes, Jihan, that West Indies New Zealand game will be pivotal, especially for New Zealand.
Oh, yeah.
Had a terrible first game against Afghanistan. I was commentating on another site for that game, and pretty poor showing from New Zealand. Trumpelman in. This one full, and Warner bunts it down the ground to deep, long on. He'll pick up a single. He moves on to 6. Australia none for 7. And Renell says to Jihan, you're in Trinidad. Yes, he is, Renell. Jihan's over there for the T20 World Cup. And Renell says, I hope to see you there. Tomorrow in the stadium, I'll be there. And Jihan's is very humid. Of course it is in Caribbean at this time of year. It's very humid. Dot ball to finish to end the over. It's the end of the over. None for 7 after 1. Good start by Australia. And Trumpelman will be disappointed with that start. A few loose deliveries in there. But Joey, so far so good for Australia.
Yeah, so far so good. Yeah, 7 runs, first over. I mean, it's decent.
Robert says, Cricket for Americans was talking about you in a video. Pretty cool. Yeah, I'm good friends with them. I've been on their channel a lot. They've supported me a lot in my journey. I've been on their channel live streams over the years, and I recently sent them some stickers, and Nick in that video was just saying that we got the stickers, which was nice. So it was good to hear. I wasn't sure how long it took to send mail to Australia from Australia to the US. It takes a while, so it was good to know that they arrived in one piece. But yeah, I'm good friends with them, and it's always nice when those acknowledgements are made. Quite embarrassing, but I'm good friends with Nick and Gabe on the channel there for Cricket for Americans, and good to see them back. David Wiss is the new bowler in. This one full and wide outside off stump and slapped away by Warner to cover point. He'll pick up another boundary, none for 11 for Australia. Not a great first delivery from David Wiss.
No.
And he'll be disappointed with that. Just short and wide outside off stump. Angling across Warner as well. Right arm over the wicket to the left-hander, angling the ball across, and that's not where you want to be. Jihan says, just looked at the score. This is going to boost Australia's net run rate a lot. Probably won't better in the end, though. And this one again, dispatched to the boundary from Warner. Back-to-back boundaries, and Visser is feeling the wrath of David Warner. Already 8 runs off the first 2 deliveries. None for 15, Australia. Warner's on 14, hit on 1. Joey, not a good start from David Wisser in this over.
No. We've seen better from him in other games, but just doesn't seem like he can combat this Australian
says won't matter, I mean. Yeah, that's right, Gian, because Australia will qualify, so the net run rate won't matter, really. We're in this one short and pulled by Warner over deep square leg for 6. He's taken full toll in this over, Warner. Already 16 off the over, 2 4s and now a 6. And Australia rocket along to none for 21. They want to get this done quickly. I think Australia have some dinner reservations. I think they want to get to a nice restaurant in Antigua. I don't blame them. They always say a quick game's a good game, I suppose. Jihan says maybe Australia's next goal. Yes, especially in the last game against Scotland. I think you're referring to Jihan, if you know. And he says that, yes, should be able to knock out England. Yeah, let's hope so. In that last game there, Renell says Warner wants to finish this early. Yes, he does. Alu says Australia win in the power play. Well, it looks like that now. Robot says Australia just wants to see how high they can make their net run rate. It's got to be very high indeed.
Oh, yes.
This one full and lofted straight up in the air by Warner. Is it going to be caught at mid-off? It is.
Oh, wow.
Taken. What a catch from the fielder at mid-off. Settled underneath it comfortably. David Warner's gone. Trumpelman took the catch. David Warner, well, he did his job. Quick fire 20. And he's got to go, Warner. In the context of the game, it won't really hurt Australia that much. He didn't quite time it, Warner. Hit it straight up in the air, trying to go over mid-off. And unfortunately, just found Trumpelman, who settled underneath that ball and took it comfortably. So David Warner, he's got to go for 20. It's 1 for 21. Joey, something for Namibia to smile about.
Yeah, I know. Well, looks like the damage is done by David Warner already. 20 runs, but yeah, I don't know what Namibia has that can counter this Australian offense.
Yes, definitely. Howdy says if the US qualifies for the Super 8s, they will qualify automatically for the 2026 T20 World Cup too. But what about the 50-over format? Will Americans take interest in 50 overs? Is this the rise of T20 cricket in the USA only? Interesting question. I'll let Joey answer that after this delivery from Wissa. 2 balls left. Australia 1 for 21. Mitchell Marsh, the captain, has arrived to the middle. Recent change to the laws. It used to be if the batters cross, then during a catch, then it would be the other batter on strike. But now it's the new batter who's always on strike. Change that. This one full into the pads and Marsh defends. Back to the bowler, and there's no run. Mitchell Marsh, he's had a pretty good time of it as captain of this tournament. I think he's captained well, and the team seem to be relishing under his leadership. Trumpelman, good catch. Fingers pointing up to the sky. David Warner, not quite getting enough elevation on that. Visser in this one. Oh, short and wide down the leg side by Visser. Quarter wide by the umpire, rightly so. That's not the best delivery from Visser. Already 15 off the over. David Warner dispatched him in the first 3 deliveries, then got the wicket of Warner, and then a dot, now wide. So it hasn't been the greatest of overs from David Visser. He bowled a very good super over against Oman. Visser is in. This one full and defended by Marsh on the front foot. Back to the bowler, no run. It's the end of the over. 1 for 21, 1 for 22, I should say, after 2. Joey, your thoughts on that question by Howdy?
Don't underestimate how much Americans like to see America win. Okay, so if America's winning like we have been against Pakistan, Bangladesh, Americans will turn out to watch America win. And that doesn't matter if it's 20 overs or 50 overs. If you would have heard the questions that I heard in the stadium in New York by regular Americans who have no idea about the game, they were very, very interested and very, very open to this new cricket experience. And I don't think it would be difficult going from 20 overs to 50 overs. They might think it's something that's really cool. So yeah, it's kind of like soccer was like.
Yeah, different. A lot of associate countries I've spoken to have said the same thing. T20 is the way to go. It's a very hard sell, the 50 over format. But they do play it. They try and they want to be in the World Cup as well. Shinkongo, the new bowler, he's into head. This one full, and head drives out to mid-off, no run. Gian says, I think the world has lost interest in 50 overs, ODIs, but when the World Cup comes around, everyone realizes, actually, this is pretty good format. A more rounded and nuanced game than T20. Yes, that's right. Couldn't agree more there, Jihan. But it's sort of the middle child, ODI cricket. You have Test cricket, who's the older brother. ODI cricket's the middle child, and you have T20 cricket, that's the annoying little brother that always misbehaves. Shinkongo in, this one full and wide outside off stump, and glided off the face of the bat from head down to third man for 4.
Jeez.
And a boundary for Australia. Already 1 for 26. Travis said, we know how destructive he can be. John says, knock a stump back in the ground, then pull it out again with the ball in hand. Yes, that's what you do you can do that, actually. You can do that. Under the laws, you can do that. I think you haven't heard about that one, Joey. I think it'll go over your brain and think, and I'll explain what John meant there. Shinkongo is in. This one full and lofted over mid-off for another boundary from head. It's going to be 6. Add 2 more onto that. And Australia are going to finish this in a counter. 1 for 32 now. Head already on to 11. Now, so what John means there, Joey, said, if you wreck the stumps, right, and the batter's short of their ground, right, so you can put the stumps back into the ground and you can put the bails back on top and you can run out a batter like that.
Oh, if you put the stumps back together.
Yes, if you put the stumps, if the stumps are already splattered everywhere, you can put them back into the ground, bails, and then it's still out.
Really? That's all, putting it together counts as the out? Or
but that usually takes time. But
it seems like
you don't see that happen.
At least like 20 seconds.
Yes, but it has happened. I'll explain in a minute. Shinkongo, short ball and pulled away by head for another boundary. So you've seen it before with runouts where the bowler has taken the stumps and knocked the stumps over without the ball in the hand. They will often have the ball and the stump together, and they pull it out of the ground. So as soon as the stump's out of the ground with the ball in contact, that's out.
Right.
So you see that quite a lot in cricket, but the other method I explained takes too long. You don't see that often, but you can get a batter out that way.
Wow, that's very interesting.
Yeah. It's one of those things in the game of cricket. This one worked to the offside by head for a single. Australia move on to 1 for 37. So you've learned something there, Joey, about stumps and pulling them out of the ground and pulling them into the ground. Robart says, I think Americans will only care about T20 until cricket becomes big in America, which will take a while. And then a lot more people care about ODIs, but only T20s. Yes. I think that's a fair assessment. Shinkongo in. This one full and lofted by Marsh over mid-off for another boundary. Australia capitalising in this power play. He moves on to 4, Marsh. It's the end of the other. 1 for 41 after 3, and Australia nearly halfway there, I think, if my maths serves me correctly. They're not quite halfway there yet, but they're approaching that point. But nonetheless, they're getting this done in a counter.
Yes.
Yes, I think you're right, John. Yeah, the one stump. Sorry. You can do that as well. You can put one stump back in the ground and then you can pull it out. I thought you meant the other method, John, I think. Which you can do. You can do that. But with the one stump, you can put it back in the ground and then take it out with the ball. It's still out.
Wow.
But you don't see that every now and again. You do see it every now and again in the game. But
it's very kind of rare.
Yes. So it's going to be the captain, Jared Erasmus. He's going to bowl his spin.
Nice.
So pace off, which is not a bad move, I suppose. You've got to try something in this stage of the game. Erasmus is in. This one's short, and Travis Head works it out to mid-on. There's no run. He's 16 off 8. And Mitchell Marsh is 4 off 3. He's done a pretty good job of late as captain. Erasmus is in. This one short and pulled by Head and dispatched over the rope for another 6.
Oh, my goodness.
The greatest delivery from Erasmus. It was short and easily pounced on from Head.
Really, yeah.
Another maximum onto the turtle. Sudeep says, I have a question, guys. What if the wickets are already uprooted and there's a chance? Oh, I think that's why we were talking about that before.
Right.
Yes.
That's where it came from.
Yes, there we go.
Fascinating.
So I hope we've already answered that question. Yeah, it's one of those weird things you can do in the game of cricket. Erasmus in, and this one defended by Head to the offside, no run. Umpire strikes back. Says the problem with ODIs is it is not financially sustainable. Only the World Cups and some South Asia matches make a profit. T20 is profitable. Tests are profitable in the big 3. Erasmus in again. This one short and playing a miss by Head, an attempted cut shot, but did not connect, and there's no run. Yes, I think that's the case for many countries. They play a lot of T20s around the world rather than ODI series. For that reason, Erasmus is in this one. Full and driven by Head, but only out to a point, and there's no run. It's the end of the over. It is 1 for 42.
Well, if I could come in here, Jack, for example, the Australian competition that's 50 overs, is that profitable? Because I see the stands and they look pretty empty. And same thing with any 50 over competition.
Excuse me. Yeah, domestic cricket.
Domestic.
Yeah, first class and one-day stuff. You don't get a lot of crowds in for domestic matches. It's mainly the Big Bash that you get a lot of crowds for a domestic game in Australia. Whereas back in the day, it used to be quite popular, but the world's changed and times have changed and people have different preferences and people expect things to be fast and quick. And T20 cricket provides all that as Trumpelman's back. And this one is cut by Marsh, but only to point, and there's no run. So, so probably during the week as well, people don't have time and, things have changed since those days. So you don't get a lot of people in. Robert says, I think USA can make ODIs profitable. Yes. Well, that would be the challenge, that's for sure. Trumpelman is in this one, full and down leg side on the pads. And Marsh will get a leg bye to square leg. Did not connect with any bat there, I don't think. So a leg bye, and it is. One more onto the turtle, 1 for 48. Robert says, Joey made good points. If USA wins in ODIs, I don't see why Americans won't watch it. Well, they do have ODI status.
Oh, yeah.
The US.
We're watching them in League 2, which is my favorite thing to watch. Is the 15 for global qualifiers, League 2. Oh, my God. I love that.
Trumpelman in. This one short and ramped by Head. He uppercut this down to third man for another boundary. The 50 up for Australia in no time.
Oh, my goodness.
1 for 52, and Travis Head, good improvisation there. Just sort of uppercut that, ramp shot, however you like to call that, down to a vacant third man and easy boundary. Howdy says, T20 is the mistaken child. T10, that is, sorry. Sudeep says, in Nepal, people prefer to watch Nepal playing ODIs over T20s. ODI cricket is more important and popular in Nepal. Trumpelman in, this one full and dispatched down the ground by Head, pass mid on for another boundary. Australia race to 1 for 56. Joey, this is going to end pretty quickly.
Yes, it doesn't. Namibia are not long for this world.
I'm surprised at how What did you think of New Zealand's capitulation against Afghanistan? Well, I was commentating for another site in that game, Jihan on that game. And yeah, they weren't really good at all, New Zealand. I think they're underdone. They were poor and sloppy in the field, dropped catches. Devon Conway, the keeper, missed stumpings and dropped some catches and fumbled. And yeah, they just didn't look switched on with the bat either. They looked all over the place. And for New Zealand, they'll be disappointed with that first performance. So a big game against the West Indies tomorrow. They have to win that. If they lose that, well, I think they're pretty much done and dusted. Well, they've only got Papua New Guinea and Uganda to come, New Zealand. So if they can win against the West Indies, they can win 3 games and qualify still. Trumpelman in, this one full and wide outside up stump, but driven through the covers for 4 from Travis Head. Another boundary. 1 for 60 for Australia. They're only 13 runs away.
They're going fast.
Brunel says Afghanistan was going to beat New Zealand, but was surprised how bad they lost by. Yes, getting bowled out for 70 odd is not what you want, I think. That's for sure. So Trumpelman finishes with a dot, but it was an expensive over. Into the over 1 for 60.
Right now, Australia have 9 4s and 3 6s. So, yeah.
Yeah, so it just shows you that they want to get a bit of a move on. I suppose, be clinical as well. You don't want to prolong the match. You want to finish it off as fast as you can. Yeah. That's no disrespect to Namibia. It's just the way the game has panned out. For sure. Jihan says, I've seen huge crowds for the one-day cup in Australia in the 90s. Yeah, you used to have big crowds back in the day. World Series, Benson and Hedges, World Cup. At the time, they used to do those competitions in those days. Used to win a car. Not anymore. So back in the day. So yeah, it was quite popular, but it sort of declined over the years. It's going to be a change in the bowling. Brassell into the attack. He's in now. Right arm over the wicket to Marsh. This one full into the pads. Marsh defends back to the bowler. No run. Howdy says Australia are playing too slowly. Well, I don't think they are. They're 1 for 60 and it's the last over the power play, so I don't think they're slow. Renell says must-win game for the West Indies as well tomorrow. Can't see them play another qualifier. Yeah, that's right, Renell. Yeah, they've been struggling over the years, the West Indies, unfortunately. Russell in, and this one guarded through point from Marsh for another boundary. And Australia 1 for 64. Marsh looking to finish it off in this over. Just coming off the face of the bat. Just opened the face of the blade. Guided it nicely through that point region. And 4 runs onto the turtle. So Australia have done their job today. Brazilian, this one short, pulled, easy pickings for Marsh, over, deep backward square leg for 6.
Hitting me.
Not the greatest of deliveries from Brazil, it had to be said. And Australia 1 for 70, just 3 runs away from winning this match. Just came off the toe end of the bat there from Marsh, the bottom part of the bat, but he got enough on it. Howdy says, I'm a better commentator than Nasser Hussain. Oh, thank you. Oh, Nasser Hussain's not bad. He's a pretty good commentator. I like listening to him. Well, thank you for the kind words. Russell is in. This one full and lofted through extra cover for 4. That will bring up the victory for Australia. They've won by 9 wickets. They finish on 1 for 74. It is fitting that the captain finished off the job. And Australia are 1 for 74 at the end of their innings. They've won by 9 wickets. They've qualified officially, you would think now, for the Super 8s, which is the next stage. Handshakes all around. Travis Head, Mitchell Marsh are happy. Unfortunately, some glum faces on the Namibian players, but they've got to bounce back. Their last game is against England in a few days' time, so another challenge for them. But for Australia, they've got the job done, as they did in 2003, when was the last time that they played Namibia in a World Cup. That was in South Africa, and Glenn McGrath took 7 wickets. So 20-odd years later, the same result has happened again. Be it in a different format in T20s. We'll get to your thoughts in a minute, Joey, on this match, and just get to Jihan's question. I always felt an ODI, particularly at a day-night match, was like a big night out. The problem with T20 is it's over before you know it. Excuse me. It's okay at domestic level, but I want to see David Warner score 100, not a quick 30. That's right. Renell says, easy, done and dusted. Howdy says the net run rate would be 9 or 10 or something. Or the run rate, yeah, I think it was. I think it was nearly towards 20.
Yeah.
But Joey, your thoughts on this match? Your thoughts on?
Is that any surprise, to anybody? This was clinical by Australia. I don't even think they were trying to go fast or slow. They were just playing how they normally play. And then this is, you can't bowl certain things to Australia. They're going to hit it, for a 4 or 6. They're just too into the game. So it seemed like the Namibian bowlers just made a lot of, simple mistakes against this Australian team that you can't make. And so, yeah, that was fast. It was very, very fast. And the batting from Namibia, I mean, it was poor to start. They kind of came back in their own, like in the middle half. I mean, for what they did against Australia. So kind of got some runs in there, but overall, completely outmatched by Australia. I mean, this is one of the few blowouts, and I was worried about the World Cup and having a lot of blowouts, with really good teams against associate nations. But fortunately for us, this is only like one of a few of the really big blowouts that we had.
Yes, we have seen that. Papua New Guinea, Uganda was a game that was scored with 70 scores, and in this game, and obviously the games in New York have been low scoring, but have provided some entertaining cricket. So just a reminder for everyone. Well, Namibia won Namibia batted first, made 72 all out with 3 overs to spare, 17 overs. The captain top score, Jared Erasmus, with 36. And for the Australian bowlers, Adam Samper, the pick of the bowlers, with 4 wickets for 12 from his 4. 2 wickets each for Hazelwood and Stoinis, and a wicket each for Cummins and Ellis. So it was a pretty comprehensive bowling performance. Whenever you bowl a side out for 70 odd, it is. And Australia finished on 1 for 74, winning by 9 wickets. Travis Head, 34 not out, top scored. Good opening partnership with Warner, which was a partnership of 21 to get Australia off to a fast start. And for Namibia, as my voice goes there a little bit, David Visser was the only one who got a wicket. And that was the wicket of David Warner, caught Trumpelman. And Australia have made light work of this target. And they have topped the group. And their last game is against Scotland, which is in a few days from now. And then that game will ultimately decide whether or not England qualify or not, based on how much Australia beat Scotland by big or small margin. But you would think going into that game, it could pan out the same way as it did against Namibia today. It may be a big margin win. So that does help England a bit, but they need to win well their last 2 games against Oman and Namibia. Howdy Cowboy says, I'm going to sleep. See you later. Yes, well, thank you, Howdy, for joining us. And thank you, everyone, for joining us as well. Pretty much a comprehensive victory by Australia. They will be pleased by this performance. And for Namibia, disappointed. And rightly so. It was 13 runs to the over in that little period between overs 1 to 5.4 where the match ended. Shows you how fast Australia was scoring. They wanted to get this done. That was a clinical performance.
Yes.
Nothing much to add on to that, really. To that, Joey, final thoughts before we pull-up stumps, as we say.
Yeah.
Final thoughts on the games to come. What do you expect from the US-India match and the other games that are happening in the next few days?
I fully expect USA to lose to India. I'm excited for USA versus Ireland. I'm hoping to see some more things happen in Group D with Nepal, Bangladesh, and Netherlands, seeing like what happens there. And then Scotland in Group B, what's going to happen with there? Obviously, England need to win 2 games really, really big. But, is it possible that Scotland advances to the Super 8s too? So we could have three associate nations, USA, Scotland, and possibly the Netherlands. So that would be really exciting.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Scotland, their run rate is +2. In England's was -1. They just showed the table on the screen then before. So there's plenty of cricket to play as we enter the back half of the group stage into the next stage, which will be the Super 8s. And our match review of this match will come out tomorrow. I don't think there will be a lot to talk about. Pretty quick. Nothing much to talk about. Pretty much a comprehensive performance by Australia. But we'll release that, and that will be out for everyone to listen, hopefully, tomorrow or the next day. And also a reminder that, you can catch all of our World Cup coverage on the podcast, and make sure you check out all of the episodes that we post on the podcast. And, for this T20 World Cup. Also, you can check out our American coverage as well on cricket. Obviously, Joey's interview that he did with us a few months back, and some other interviews that I've done with Americans on the game of cricket, because certainly America and cricket are certainly starting to form that partnership, and hopefully it will take off in a big way. But thank you, everyone, for joining us. If you came across from Joey's New World Cricket, thank you for joining us there. Or if you were original subscribers of the podcast and you came over, which we had a few today, thanks for joining us as always. A reminder that subscribe to our YouTube channel. So click the bell so you don't miss out on any episodes of the podcast that we do. And follow us on Twitter and on Instagram as well. And also give our Facebook page a like and a share as well. And the podcast is available on Anchor, Spotify, and on Apple Podcasts for you to listen as well. Renell says, bye, guys. Take care. You too, Renell. We hope to see you back for another stream and another game in this T20 World Cup as well. And also, before I forget, is to check out Joey, New World Cricket. Check out his channel on cricket. He does a wonderful job there covering all things American cricket, all things associate cricket, and cricket in general. So he's doing a great job there. So support him, get around him, and let's support the game in America, that's for sure. Joey, you want to add anything to that, Joey?
Thanks for having me. Great listening to you talk cricket, yeah, go USA.
Yes, the Stars and Stripes, that's for sure. And they're doing great stuff there. But thank you, everyone, once again for joining us. And we will be back for another live stream watch-along on the podcast. Join us for the next game, which will be Australia and Scotland. That will be in a few days' time. And join us for that match. We'll be back for that. Robart says, have a great rest of the day, you guys. See you later. Yes, Robart, hope you have a good evening or good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. But, yeah, I think that's pretty much done it, Joey. Once again, Australia winning by 9 wickets. They've officially qualified for the Super 8s. And they'll be looking to go on and win their second T20 World Cup, hopefully. But they're playing some good cricket. And unfortunately for Namibia, not quite up to the task today. But they can bounce back. We know they can play some good cricket. But thanks, everyone. Until next time, from me and Joey, bye for now.